Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about TTCF. As an update, you'll find my previous video in the description below, but before you watch this one, this will be a standalone video. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about the stock to make an educated decision. I'm going to go through the due diligence right after I do quick technical analysis to give you a perspective on the price action, important price points to break, and supports and resistances, as well as the psychology of traders. Let's jump right into it. So, on a 1 week perspective and a 1 day perspective, the actual chart itself is not populated, so we have to do a 1 month to hour perspective. And what we get to see here is a continuous downtrend with few jumps here up and there ever since 6th of November. But we get to see that the actual MACD here has jumped up. 20% R is currently overbought a little. Momentum is a little bit rough, but it looks like it's actually attempting to gain a little bit of traction. Now, here's a little bit of a warning sign, because this has been attempted multiple times before. Around this region here, you get to see there was a bit of a jump. Well, I think it's just more once or twice before. Previously, it worked once and it failed another. But what we can see here is it escaped the bearish trading action zone. Above the 1563, it's above the 50 SMA line, and then it's considered bullish. So we need to look a little bit into the moving average band. Moving average band, it's expected 1524 in the bottom, 1694 in the middle, and 1863 in the top. Volumes have been consistent, although the unbalanced volume has been negative, and it looks like a lot of folks have been unloading for a while. Now, the stochastic fast and the stochastic slow are both telling you, hey, it might be a time to actually load up for this one for a push. Now, the chart here shows an Fibonacci retracement at 16 bucks. Above there, 17.19, above there, 18.14, above there, 19.10, and then 20.46. Now, the only support line we have on the Fibonacci retracements is the 14.09. We need to look a little bit into the traditional ways of creating supports and resistances through price action lines. 15.19 seems to be the current support level. Below there, 14.93, and then we jump down to 14.23. Current resistances, we're looking at 1546, from there on 1602. From 1602, we're looking at 1657. From 1657, we're looking at 1785 and 1785, all the way up to 1833 and then 1918. So that is all quite significant movements upwards that we can break on. Institutional buyers, it seems to be a little bit of a mixed scenario. Nothing seems to be interesting in the previous or this week, except one thing. Added of shares around 36,000, and that looks amazing. Other than that, we have a little bit of ons and off between calls, puts, moving shares, adding shares, and so it's a mixed sentiment in that perspective. The current transaction history, what we get to see here is insiders have been a little bit quiet on this one and not skewing in either direction. Now, the current move on here, what we get to see is a bit of shares being issued here and there. It's mainly towards warrants or IPO resultants off, so nothing to worry about. Including this one here with the offering price. This was put up, I believe, around 2-3 weeks ago, and it is resultant from the IPO, so this is all normal business. I wouldn't be scared about it. Next thing we can look at is their cash on hand versus their current revenue. So their cash on hand, or total assets we're looking at, cash on hand is 3.1 million compared to 4.5. Current total assets around 53 million compared to 35 million. Total assets is around 66.7 million compared to 43.9 million. Total liabilities we're looking at 58 compared to 33 million. And your total stockholder equity deficit is around 36 million negative. Now, a big chunk of that is related to from what I understand, is their IPO movements. So there is apparently a bunch of massive cost towards making an IPO, and from my understanding, from what I've read, is that a lot of that chunk has gone to this balance sheet. Now, in terms of revenues, we're looking at 40.96 million compared to 25 million. Looks amazing. In terms of income loss from operations, you're looking at 3.4 million loss compared to 2.15. So it looks a little bit rough, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll be very vigilant to the next quarter. Here's their website, and now I believe you can actually even order, or I know actually you can order on their website. Now there is, I think, a limit of 3 items, so there is a small limit, but I would definitely do recommend, if you live in the US and you want to invest in this one, give the products a try. If they're delicious and you find them at a good, approachable price, then that gives you, as a consumer or as a customer, a little bit of perspective. Free shippings and all bundles and orders over 10 items. There you go. And so I'll definitely basically advise you, if you can find these products in the stores, to go ahead and give them a try. Now, recent news, events, and latest filings, they're all here. Haven't done really much about it in terms of finding a different haven't found anything much in terms of SEC filings additional. Tattooed chef to host analyst on December 15th, so that is as well another push there. Looks quite interesting. Now, what you have here is Jeffrey's virtual coast that was previously on November 16th. It doesn't look like it affected much the stock price, but December 15th is the analyst day at 10 a.m. PST, so that is a little bit closer to 2 weeks. Now, another thing is that they have a Twitter account. You get to see a little bit of their information and a little bit of news here and there. I'll definitely give them a follow. And if you're on Twitter, might as well give me a follow. Alright. Now, what we need to look at next is, what do we think about the stock? There's definitely a lot to cover. And we've covered it a while ago, and a lot of different things going on at the same time. In terms of a perspective, when you look into, for instance, their current basic competitors like Beyond Meat and all that stuff, their market caps are in billions. This one's market cap is currently a little bit closer to 1 billion, so it still has room to grow. And if they play the cards right, this could be a very, very strong move, a really strong investment for longer term for basic alternative to meat or vegan, non-GMO, all that kind of stuff, food base. Now, if you've survived this long in terms of the video, make sure to check the Discord link down. It's totally free. We're just there to learn more and chat and discuss different strategies. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is, do I think it's going to move forward? I think in the short term, you might actually see this downtrend. It's going to attempt to break the downtrend a few times, but once it does, I think it's going to see a bit of a push. In the longer term, and I'm talking about year or two, I do think this one will be a good investment in the long run. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.